Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
I'm Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
And this video is our preview for Blue Blood Season 10, Episode 14, Fog of War, that is airing, alas, not next week, but instead on February 14th. I mean, what better Valentine's Day occasion is there than watching Danny Reagan chase somebody down in the street?
That's right.
I mean, really.
I know what I'll be doing on Valentine's Day, and it will be that.
Yeah, there'll probably be that for both of us. But we're going to talk a little bit about the preview and some stuff you can expect because there wasn't a promo tonight.
Nope.
And I'm sure there will be a lot of people who are asking, okay, where's the proper reaction and everything that happened tonight?
Yeah, normally we do a reaction for the episodes, but tonight's episode, you guys know that I really love Blue Bloods, but tonight's episode was a bit of a snooze for me.
It just wasn't great. And I think this has been a little bit of a pattern. I mean, we've had a couple little good storylines here or there throughout the season, but we've also had a lot that I just can't remember at all on my top of my head right now. And
this is one of those for me, like none of these storylines are going to stick with me.
And so what I think we're going to do instead is tomorrow we're going to have a little bit of a larger conversation about Blue Bloods and why a lot of aspects of season 10 aren't really working and whether or not it's time for the show to consider sort of shaking up a little bit of its tradition. Not so much that it becomes a different show, but at least try to just unscrew a few things. Like, allow yourself to have a little bit more fun. But this is going to be about the preview for what's coming up next from here on out.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a bit of a deeper dive into why this season's not working, so make sure you come back and check that out.
Alright, well, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. So, I will start with this. There is one thing about Fog of War that I like right away, beyond just the aspect that Fog of War sounds like an incredibly intense name for an episode of this show.
Yeah, it does, which is what we need.
Yeah, so we have the introduction of Waylon, Texas Ranger. Well, his name is actually
such a good name.
Waylon Gates. It feels like he's the lead character in a Justified spinoff.
I was about to say the exact same thing, and I love Justified. So if it's got anything that can kind of resemble that, that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, and Lyle Lovett's going to be playing this character, and I'm presuming that actually about 30% of the storyline is going to be Waylon and Danny arguing over whether or not there are beans in chili. And that all these important...
Which is an argument that happens at this house all the time.
There are no beans in chili.
Yes, there is.
These are the important Texas
in
versus...
fact, you eat the chili that has beans in it.
I do, but
Here,
that doesn't mean that it's...
From me.
That doesn't mean that it's actually just chili in its purest form. If you are a chili purist, give me a like and tell me why in the comments.
It's just meat sauce.
Okay, alright. So before we get too out of hand here, as for why, Waylon, Texas Ranger is back in the... I'm wondering how many times I can do that. But he's going to be in New York because they are tracking down a murderer known, fittingly, as the Lone Star Killer. Can you be any more on the nose, Blue Bloods, with the name of your serial killer?
Well, here's the thing. We haven't had a lot of, really good Danny and Baez stories this season. It has been kind of scarce out there. This one, though, it's got all the right moving parts that this could be something. It's Valentine's Day, guys. Give me a good case for my two.
Yeah, I think this will be fun. I feel like one of the problems for Danny and Baez is, they're around each other and they have a great relationship and a great rapport, but it's sort of like you need to throw some stuff at them here or there beyond just the case. And I think bringing in someone like Waylon, who's probably going to have all these opinions about uptight New York cops and the way they do things.
Yes, and that might bring in some good stuff for us as viewers. Some good stories, some good tension, some good sort of learn about each other moments. Yeah. Lots of stuff that Blue Bloods does do well.
Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there will be about 500 different Texas stereotypes that are included throughout this episode.
And I'm sure there will be a good video afterwards with you getting a little salty about them.
as a native Texan, we do not all ride on horses, we do not have cacti in our yards, and we do not have tumbleweeds, and I'm basically just pointing out what Jess thought Texans were like before
The
she
first
saw
time
there.
I ever came to Texas, that's exactly what I thought. I lived in a bubble in Toronto.
Yeah.
I was so desperate to see a tumbleweed when I went to Texas for the first time that I actually picked up a dead bush I found and threw it down the street just so that I could have something. Although I did see the boot barn, which then I learned later is kind of everywhere.
Yeah, that's not that unique.
But it still felt like it was for me. I needed something, and I saw somebody in a cowboy hat.
There you go. You just needed to go to, like, Lubbock or something. You were in the wrong part of Texas, but
to be fair, people think that they're coming to Canada and they're going to see Mounties riding down the street.
Yeah, I made that joke.
Handing out maple syrup and healthcare, and that doesn't happen.
Well, this is the sort of stuff you should expect to see in this Blue Bloods episode where, you know, Wayland, Texas Ranger is going to be like, hey, I need one of those New York hot dogs. And then he's going to get the hot dog from the vendor and then complain about the chili. All right, let's move on to other things.
That's you.
That might be me. All right, so also in this episode, your Jamie and Eddie storyline seems to revolve around Eddie's partner. And I have kind of lost track of the number of Eddie partners that we've had at this point.
Yeah, Eddie needs to just get a partner so that we can kind of start to just give her some stability in the show. Like, her revolving door of partners, I'm really over it. It needs to just be, give her a partner or give her some sort of promotion where she's working with somebody. Like, we need something.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels a lot like when somebody leaves, whatever it's called now. It was Regis and Kelly, and then it's like it's like whenever one of the hosts leave, they have like 200 guest hosts that are brought in before they settle in on somebody.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. It's the Eddie and whoever show when it comes to her and her partners. And I mean, just name someone like a partial series regular or something so you can actually keep them around. I mean, it feels like either their new partners, they're just not working, or the actors are getting other gigs and they can't keep them.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with it, but we need to stop the bleeding, guys.
Yeah.
Just get somebody to be there as her partner or move her into another position where she doesn't necessarily need a partner.
Yeah, and in this storyline, her new partner is going to apparently shoot an undercover cop. And this leads into a dilemma as to what should happen to them. Obviously, this guy probably did not do this on purpose, but, you know, he's going to be distraught afterwards and upset, and it's going to be up to none other than Frank Reagan to try to convince him to not turn over his badge.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen kind of similar stories in the past. There's been numerous people, even people this season, that Frank has had to try to stop from turning in their badge. So we'll see if he is successful again in being able to do this.
Yeah, it is more of kind of like the rinse and repeat Blue Blood story here. But, I mean, maybe what will make it special is you have it somebody who is close to Eddie, somebody who Eddie is going to know fairly well. So maybe this leads to some Eddie and Frank sort of scenes, and maybe the two of them get to spend some time together, because that's a little bit of a different character pairing than we're used to.
I'm just hoping that Eddie's new partner is not going to actually turn in the badge.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go away, and then we're gonna be left again with her just kind of being this rudderless boat with no partner. Like, they just need somebody, man.
Well, don't you worry. In Blue Blood Season 14, Eddie's new partner is going to be Nikki. And because Nikki, you know, presuming that Nikki comes back eventually, Nikki will be sticking around, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay, by Season 14, if we don't see Eddie have some sort of promotion or moving up into some sort of other department, then, like, I don't know what's going on, because she's, to me, feels like she's getting ready for that already.
Yeah, unfortunately, the synopsis didn't give us details about all the major character storylines that are coming up in episode 14, so we just kind of have to just embrace what little information we have.
Well, my hope is kind of like a little bit of what we've talked about before, is that, and this probably isn't the case, but maybe we can hope that this is the case, that maybe they just have two really meaty stories here that they're going to be focusing on, and focusing a little less on spreading the wealth, and then the stories don't get to be as good and as much meat on the bone.
Yeah.
That would be great, but that's probably not what's happening.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like to see sort of, Aaron get factored into what Danny is doing, with his new buddy Waylon Gates, Texas Ranger. And I think
You're never going to get tired of that.
No, I'm really not. But
No.
I think it would be fun to just sort of interlock these stories a little bit so it just doesn't feel like we're constantly being like here and here and here and here, like we're a beach ball in the middle of like a concert that's just getting like knocked around to various places.
And it just feels like we're not getting enough time with the stories. They're just, and that's why like even tonight's episode just didn't really kind of work. It was just, there were so many things going on and none of them had enough meat on that bone.
Yeah.
Like that Jamie story tonight could have been really interesting.
Yeah.
But it was so small and
Yeah.
there was so little screen time with it that by the time he got to the end, it was just like, this is the payoff. Nothing happened. It's all whatever. These guys have decided to move in a different direction with it. Oh, well, okay.
Well, yeah, we need a little bit more meat. We need some more interesting stuff. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. But for now, what do you guys want to see on Season 10, Episode 14? Mm-hmm. Are you excited about, wait for it one more time, Waylon, Texas Ranger showing up and being a part of this? Share in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us more by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.
Also, chili has beans in it.
Really? That's how you're going to end this?